Okay, today's Dharma talk. Not sure I like the name Dharma talk because I don't think anybody has a clue what that means. It's just to talk about spiritual ideas and principles, and for the purpose of elucidating and illuminating for any listener what their truth is, because you got to find your own truth. So today's topic is so heady. I just took a big gulp of coffee, which will help me figure it out. Philosophers way smarter than me have been arguing about free will and determinism for a very long time, and it seems to be a tennis match being batted back and forth, whether we have free will or not. I frankly think it's an absurd argument because the answer is so clear that I can't believe the really smart people haven't figured it out. They probably haven't had enough coffee yet, but the answer is we have both. We have free will and determinism. Well, Greg, what do you mean by that? And how are you going to explain that in 4 minutes? And what good is that going to do me? Because, where's my stuff? So what I mean by we have free will and determinism is that at any given time, we can make honest, free will, volitional choices in our life. And sometimes we can't. I personally do believe that without free will, then being a spiritual being is invalidated. So if you're a spiritual being, it's absolutely essential that you do believe in free will, because otherwise we're deterministic, materialistic beings. Anyway, that's a topic for another conversation. But what does it mean that sometimes we have free will and sometimes we're determined? Well, it seems like every human being goes through an evolutionary phase where there are issues over which we have no choice. We react. We simply react, automatic stimulus response. Can you think of any of those? Your husband or mate says this and you react like this, or this happens and you have a knee-jerk reaction, or throughout the day you just react and engage in behaviors over which you have no choice. And then over time, you begin to have choice where you didn't have choice before. That's the key. You have choice where you didn't have choice before. Maybe instead of drinking a box of wine at night, you now have a choice and you don't do it. Or instead of buying 500 scratchers every week, you choose to not do that. I'm using obviously egregious examples, but there's choice where there wasn't choice before. It's kind of like an amoeba is a very, very low grade organism and doesn't really have a lot of choice. It just bangs around responding into water molecules. And humans, some humans, I know humans that are like amoebas, they just kind of bounce around reacting to things. But the more we're in the game and the more that we meditate and the more experience we have and the more consciousness we gain, the more we have choice where we didn't have it before. Somebody says something to us and we pause and we think of a better reaction, or somebody cuts us off in the freeway. Instead of chasing them home and getting out with a crowbar, we say, you know what, that person may be having a bad day, or maybe they're on the way to see their sick mother at the hospital, or any number of 1,000 different things happen to us during the day, and where we would have reacted automatically, we now have a choice, and the choices can be wiser and more beautiful and more coherent and more in universe's will, so to speak. And then the world becomes a happier place and we become more responsible for contributing our well-being to the world rather than being just mindless reactors bouncing around like pinballs. So the topic this week is being responsible for your life. And to do that, we have to have choice. To have choice, you have to be conscious. To be conscious, you need to meditate. To meditate, you need to show up here every morning at 7 a.m. and gain consciousness. Throughout this day, notice where you have choice, where you didn't have it before. Also notice things that you do. It's like, golly, I sure wish I could do something other than that was more intelligent or more wise or more coherent or more beautiful or more harmonious. Well, soon you will have choice there, and you will be one of the human beings that proves that we do have free will and not one of the human beings who proves that we're just deterministic beings. Okay, you have free will to show up tomorrow at 7 a.m. and I look forward to seeing you then.